Morning. It is Monday, March 14th, and I have had, thus far, a bit of a rough morning. So I've been doing so well. Not taking magnesium, not getting nauseous. It's been about a month, and I guess the issues before were also about once a month I'd end up with a really bad day is what it had gotten to. And now this morning was actually fine. And it wasn't until around the time I actually started work that my stomach started really acting up. Which is later than normal, so a bit different, but I'm like, come on, you're not supposed to do this. I'm no longer having the magnesium supplement. What's going on? But it gets bad enough I had to call out. I didn't even work a full hour. Well, I found out that the sink drain has started leaking. Mike put that in a week ago, and I checked it before putting towels under it. It was fine, at least for the first few days. I don't know when it started leaking, but it wasn't right away. But it's been leaking for a bit now. And I had already put all the towels underneath there. Layers of fabric that had begun to mildew. So every time, in between calls at work, or I'm running into the bathroom to throw up, and every time I do so, I'm re-exposing myself to be right next to the mildew that's the allergy that I also know is a cause of stomach issues. I've definitely dealt with that in the past. So every time I'm feeling sick, I go re-expose myself to the thing that is making me sick. So it's been a bit. I figured it out. I've got all that in the washing machine. I'll get that all cleaned up. Got a bowl underneath the sink for now. I cannot catch a break. That's what it feels like. I can't catch a break. And so I got everything, towels all in the wash and dryer, and getting that taken care of. Bucket underneath the sink until Mike manages to find time to come fix it. But since I'd called out for work, even though at this point now that I've gotten everything cleared and managed to get through whatever system of dealing with the mildew in getting it cleaned up, I'm now feeling better. But my evening's been cleared because I call off the game if I have to call out sick to work. So I think I'm going to do the thing I've done occasionally. Where I go ahead and I just move movie day ahead of day. I'm just going to be lazing around the condo. So might as well watch a movie today, and then I'll free up my evening tomorrow for, I don't know, lazing around the condo doing nothing probably. Because I had been thinking, do I want to try and go out and see the Batman? Because that'd be cool. Maybe at some point, but I was at this point thinking probably not this week anyways. So if I'm just gonna stay at home for a movie this week, I might as well do it today. And well, plenty of time. Going to hop into 007, Tomorrow Never Dies. Sure, that's an assembly of words. I don't know what this one's about. Probably seen it. I'm pretty sure I've seen it. But, tomorrow never dies. Well, it's a day, not a person or something. That's nonsensical. It don't make no sense. But it has those buzzwords that are James Bond title kind of buzzwords, and they're just, I mean, they're looking for something, I'm sure. So I'll check it out. And I would give 007 Tomorrow Never Dies a 7.8 out of 10. It's just as good as, maybe just slightly better than GoldenEye. But I do appreciate the fact that the villain is the media. It's personal. But as the back of the box doesn't actually say anything about the movie itself, it just promotes the bonus features that the DVD version includes. By the way, I said at the start, I think, like, I'm pretty sure I've seen this one. Well, duh, I have the DVD version. I didn't first get it when it got Blu-ray, so I've definitely seen it. Anyways, I do have the back-of-box description from online, because I got that for all these. For Tomorrow Never Dies. Someone is pitting the world's superpowers against each other, and only the legendary James Bond Agent 007 can stop it. When a British warship is mysteriously destroyed in Chinese waters, the world teeters on the brink of World War III until 007 zeroes in on the true criminal mastermind. Bond's do-or-die mission takes him to Elliot Carver, a powerful industrialist who manipulates world events as easily as he changes headlines from his global media empire. After soliciting help from Carver's sexy wife Paris, Bond joins forces with a stunning yet lethal Chinese agent, Wai Lin, in a series of explosive chases, brutal confrontations, and impossible escapes, including a motorcycle pursuit through Saigon. Bond and Wai race to stop the presses on Carver's next planned news story, Global Pandemium. That motorcycle pursuit through Saigon may be like the coolest chase scene freaking ever. Just saying, awesome. Awesome scene. Otherwise, fun movie. You know, talking about all the great and global technology, but as James is digging through the drawers to get the secret machine that decodes things, and it's how they like sent the ship off course and all. And there's floppy disks in the drawers, and I'm like, 97? Are we still using floppy disks in 97? Well, yeah, I guess I was 10 then, so I guess we were. But just seeing some of the things like in the movie itself that technology can allow and do. And to think we were doing that kind of technological wonder when we were still in the age of the floppy disk. And I'm like, wow. Things did not progress at the, you know, all levels of technology did not progress at the same rate. Now, unlike GoldenEye, there weren't nearly so many familiar faces in this one. I recognize Carver himself, the main villain. I know him, of course, from Pirates of the Caribbean. As whatever, Elizabeth Swann's father. But yeah, that's probably about the only real familiar face in there. And the name itself, I make fun of, oh, Tomorrow Never Dies, that makes no sense, but the name of the newspaper is Tomorrow. So it's punny. They were clever. It's fine. Got fun. I guess there was another, because there were two good chase scenes, because I think, you know, of course, the motorcycle scene, but the car chase the backseat driver, where he's ducked down in the backseat driving the car with the little phone. That was also a very cool car chase. Just a chase through a parking structure, but managed to make it quite action-packed. There was the doctor, the guy that makes it look like a suicide, who has that line, I'm especially good at celebrity overdoses. He had such a creepy vibe for just such a very small part. I don't know, there's just something about it. But particularly, like, he's working with the media. Like, this guy that controls the media has a guy that works for him who makes it look like people have killed themselves, have had an overdose, to control the headlines. The whole plot is just because this media guy's like, oh, I get to put out the news everywhere but China. Well, let's make some alliances here and get myself some China. And it's a big market. They're creating the news to report. Yeah. Just knowing how corrupt the media is across the board. Yeah, I like the story and the setup for the villain and all that. I appreciate it. And it's interesting because, I mean, they're pitting governments against each other, but they themselves, like, the media is the one that's the villain, not any of the governments. And then we go back to, like, the beginning, and there's that whole, like, terrorist, arms bazaar that, James has snuck in on. Great opening. Just particularly showing some of, like, the government behind the scenes stuff. And like the war room that the government used in this one feels weird. The last movie, like, they showed the outside of MI6, the real building in London. Or wherever, whatever. I'm assuming London. And, like, they have, like, scenes take place in, like, office kind of room. Here they have this, like, this war room where M and, like, these generals are in this big darkened room with these massive techno screens and all this, and I'm like, a little more sci-fi than the last one, but okay. But, like, the general guy is all, like, gung-ho for, oh, let's just blow it up. And then they're like, but that's a nuke. Oh, I didn't see that. Can we stop the bombs we sent? No. James Bond gotta save the day again. And then they're all like, we don't think what those people thought happened really happened. Let's send someone to investigate. And the general again is like, nope. We got our boats on the way. They'll be there in 48 hours and they're gonna blow it up. Oh, we do have the returning, whatever, the American guy. It's from the last movie. He comes back, gets James Bond set up with the Halo drop. That was that's a cool thing. And that's a cool thing that I know, that I like, enough so that I have ideas for how that might end up integrated in a more fantasy version. In my D&D world setting, or that I'm plotting out, because I like that idea with stealth dropping in from above the clouds to just all of a sudden landing and not being detected, not being spotted. But it was fun. It was a fun movie. And it was a fun with the, because by the end of it, he's really partnered up with the Chinese agent. But it was fun, like, how much they resisted working together for so long, as they're clearly both on the same case. But, like, they really had to fight for that alliance. makes it feel more earned, I guess, by the time we get it. Anyways, I've rambled on long enough, I suppose. Making my way through the Pierce Brosnan James Bonds, and it's fun, because they were the ones that came out when I was young. Otherwise, Mike did come by in the middle of the movie and theoretically fixed the drain, though obviously he thought he'd gotten it the first time. And he says, you know, keep an eye on it. Says it's possible that it's actually not the drain itself, but the sink that was causing the leak, in which case, but I guess I'll have to wait. You know, I'd waited a few days first time. I guess I have to wait even longer and make sure that it's not leaking. But I got a bucket still under there, and we'll find out. Otherwise, I'm feeling better, so I'll be able to work tomorrow, but it is what it is. I'm going to call it a night. Thank you for joining me, and join me as my journey continues.